Good morning, students. I hope so everyone is good and everyone is fine. So this is lecture 3 from chapter number 6, Political Parties, class 10, subject civics. So till now we have studied about, in this particular chapter, what are these political parties, why do we need these political parties, what are the basic functions, components, necessity, then how many parties should be required, what are the moral forces in these particular political parties, and how they actually participate. Now, in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss about the topics to be covered in this particular lecture will be, first of all, we are going to discuss what are the basic national political parties. So, what are these national parties and why it is different from the state parties. So, we are going to discuss that, firstly about these national political parties, what are the major national one, and then the state parties. We are going to discuss about that as well, and what are the major challenges that these political parties face. We'll talk about that, what are the challenges that these political parties have to face, and how these parties can be reformed. How, like, after abandonment of all these challenges, how they can be reformed again. We'll talk about that as well, and the homework solution that I've given you from the previous lecture, I will talk about that, and the homework I will be assigning you in this particular lecture. So I hope so everyone is ready. Please have your book, one notebook and one pen in your hand before starting this lecture. So I hope so everyone is having everything, and please be ready. Now we are starting with the lecture. So first of all, we are going to discuss about all these national political parties. So what are these national political parties? In a democracies that follow a federal system all over the world, they tend to have two kind of political parties. So if you have seen that we are living in a federal system only, like India is a part of, like, who is following the federal system. So here you will see that there are two kind of political parties. First of all, the parties that are present in only one of the federal units, and parties that are present in several or other units of the federation. So what does that mean? Like, if you see that the parties, mostly they have only few of them who are present and who is generating the federal system in the uppermost caste, like these union system जो हमारा चलता है, all these laws and everything, prime minister, president, and all these CMs. So they have a different kind of federal system that they use. They are different federal units, and apart from that, there are other parties also that present in the several or other units of the federation. Like these, all these states they are having different kind of ministers like MLAs and MPs. So इनका जो होता है, जो इन यूनिट्स में जो लोग काम करते हैं, they are quite different. So this is the case in India as well. There are some country-wide parties which are called the national parties, and these parties have their units in various states. But by and large, all these units follow the same policies, programs, strategies that is decided by the national level only. So basically, if you see that in the case of India, there are country-wide parties, like country-wide parties, which we call them as national parties as well. And in national parties, they are the units, they have spreaded their members also in different states as well. Like we have BJP. BJP is a national party that evolved to be governed as a whole, but his particular members are associated with every state that they are present in India. So, but by and large, all these units, they follow these same policies, programs and strategies that has been divided by these national level only. So जो भी national level पे parties होती है, they are the one who decide about what the state government में भी जितने उनके members हैं, what they have to do. Now every party in the country has to register with the election commission. While the commission treats all parties equally, it offers some special facilities to large and established parties here. So if you have seen it also, there are every party in the country has to register themselves first of all in the election commission, where the commission till now has treated each and every party equally, and they have offered special facility also to this large and established parties, especially to Congress, BJP. These are one of these like parties that have been involved as large and established parties, and these parties are given a unique symbol also. So if you have seen the symbol, and it is given in your book as well, like कांग्रेस का जो पार्टी हमारी नेशनल कांग्रेस पार्टी का इज अ हैंड, देन बीजेपी का जो सिंबल है दैट इज अ कमल का फूल, दैट इज अ लोटस फूल. So they are using these different symbols. They are having certain unique symbols, and they are the one who is having this. Or only the official candidates of the party can use that election symbol. So who are the official members of or official candidates of this particular party? They are the one they can. They are the only one who can use this election symbol, and no one else can use it. So they show that we are from this particular party. They are assembling and showing them this unique symbol to show that we are from this particular party. Now all these parties that get this privilege and some other special facilities, they are recognized by the election commission for this purpose. That is why these parties are called recognized political parties. Now if you see that if any parties established and they are large enough, they have to go through by recognition from this election commission, and that is having a very good purpose, because now if they are being recognized by the election commission, these are the only parties which we can say that they are the recognized political parties, and the election commission has laid down detailed criteria for the proportion of votes and seats that a party must need in order to be a recognized party. Now if you see that they have certain criteria also, where the selection commission set up that they can be recognized or not. So they query a detailed criteria for the proportion of votes कितने हैं, seats कितनी हैं उनके पास, उस हिसाब से that a party must get in order to be a recognized party there. Now a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the legislative assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. Now if we talk about the national party, अगर आप national party की बात करते हैं, तो वहाँ पे a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in the Lok Sabha elections. जो लोक सभा elections होते हैं, you have seen it also, तो उसमें अगर 6% वोट जो मिलते हैं किसी भी मतलब पार्टी को मिल रहे हैं, और असेंबली इलेक्शंस में 4 सीट्स या फिर 2 सीट्स भी अगर कोई जीत रहा है इन लोक सभा इलेक्शन in state level, it is recognized as a national party if it is there. Like a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha election or assembly elections and in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha, it recognized as a national party there. अब इतना तो percentage बनता ही है to recognize as a national party, that a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the legislative assembly of the state and wins at least 2 seats and recognized as a state party. Then a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha election or assembly elections in 4 states and win at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party there. Now according to this classification, there are 6 national recognized parties in the country in 2006, and let us learn something about each of these parties. Not till now, like also they have come up with new parties as well, but till 2006 there were only 6 national recognized parties in the country, we can see and we can read about these particular parties, and we should go through about how these parties are established and what are their basic motives. So first and main important party of today's time is like India's National Congress, because it is the oldest one, popularly known as Congress Party. It is one of the oldest parties of the world. Like BJP भी इतना नहीं old है जितना Congress Party is one of the oldest parties of the world. It was founded nearly in 1885 and has experienced many splits. So it has evolved, and being a part of First World War, Second World War, and then when India gets its independence, all the struggle times, so they have gone through everything, and they have experienced many splits as well. So they have played a very dominant role in Indian politics at the national and state level for several decades after India's independence as well. So before independence and after independence, they have played a very important role in Indian politics at the national and state level for various decades after independence, India's independence also. And under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru. As we all know, our first Prime Minister was Jawaharlal Nehru, and in his guidance only, in his leadership only, we got our independence and we got our first Prime Minister. Now the party sought to build a modern, secular, democratic republic in India. So basically, they want to establish a new kind of government after they got the independence. So they want some modern, secular kind of democratic republic in India, which is a ruling party. They were the ruling party at the center till 1977, and then from 1980 to 1989. So basically till 1977, Congress is the one who were at the ruling party. After that, BJP came, and again after like in 1980 till 1989, again Congress came, and after that जब अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी आए थे तो उनकी पार्टीज भी चली थी. तो बेसिकली इट वाज बिटवीन कांग्रेस एंड मेजरली बीजेपी ओनली, जहाँ पे रूलिंग पार्टी में इनके में कंपटीशन रहा है फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग डिकेड अगो. नाउ आफ्टर 1989 इट्स सपोर्ट डिक्लाइंड. सो बेसिकली फ्रॉम जो चेंजेस इस पार्टी ने फेस किए वो 1989 के बाद फेस किए. इट्स सपोर्ट डिक्लाइन, but it continues to be present throughout the country till now. Like the power they were having, the power decreased with the number of support system they were having. It decreased, but the presence was throughout the country. Like they were cutting across all the social divisions. They were presenting their own opinions. They were presenting their party at a very national level, and a centralized party, neither rightist nor leftist. They were the one, and in its ideological orientation as well. The party sponsors secularism and welfare of weaker sections and monasteries, and they support new economic reforms but with the human face. So basically what were their ideology towards this is they are initiating secularism in every part of the like state in India, and they want that the welfare of the weaker section and minorities should come up with that. So इनकी आइडियोलॉजी ये थी बेसिकली, and the support they need from these economic reforms was coming up but with a human face. Like they emerged as the largest party with 145 members in the Lok Sabha elections held in 2004. So basically when these elections happened in 2004 again, when Manmohan Singh came, so they were the one that has emerged as the largest party with 145 members in the Lok Sabha elections. And currently they lead the ruling United Progressive Alliance coalition government at the center as well. So now you all know that Narendra Modi came and is from like 2 elections वो जीत चुके हैं, लेकिन उससे पहले भी मनमोहन सिंह भी 10 years तक he have ruled the party, and he is till now the longest one. Now जैसे नरेंद्र मोदी का 10 year gap complete हो जाएगा, उनका भी वो उसी कैटेगरी में आ जाएंगे. But मनमोहन सिंह was the one, the longest one, जो 10 years तक he was ruling at the Prime Minister seat. Now another important party we are having is Bharatiya Janata Party, that is the ruling party currently. So this भारतीय जनता पार्टी was founded in 1980. उससे पहले जो थी मतलब इस पार्टी की जो establishment होने शुरू हो गई थी, it was like in 1966, but majorly it was founded in 1980 by reviving the erstwhile भारतीय जाना संघ. So पहले इसको जनता पार्टी तो कहा नहीं जाता, it was like भारतीय जाना संघ and wants to build a strong and modern India by drawing its inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. So their ideology was different from the Congress one. So they want to inspire a strong and modern India by inspiring these India's ancient culture and values. So they want to inspire Indians by following all these ancient culture and values, and people should follow that. So this culture nationalism is an important element in its concept of Indian nationalhood and politics. So इनका जो एजेंडा था मेजरली जिसको ये फॉलो भी करते हैं, that is the cultural nationalism. So here they wanted to present about the various cultures of India and that Indians should follow that, and that was their important element in and its conception of Indian nationalhood and politics, and they want full territorial and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India. So as we have seen it also, like Narendra Modi is the one who is fighting it all the way long for like taking the full initiative for Jammu and Kashmir, that they want that full territorial system. उनका पहले से ये एजेंडा था कि कश्मीर हम उनको कभी नहीं देंगे, उनके पास जितना है उनके पास उतना रहेगा, बाकी हमारा है और हम उनको कभी नहीं देंगे. So he always wanted to have the full territorial and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India and a uniform civil code for all people living in the country irrespective of religion. So वो भी अभी उन्होंने ये सारी चीज़ें जो आई हैं वो अभी भी फॉलो होना शुरू हो गई हैं. That they want a uniform civil code for all people who are living in the country irrespective of their religion, and they ban on this religious convergence. So basically all these caste systems and group system that was happening, religious system by these Muslims, these Indians, so इस चीज़ को वो बैन करना चाहते थे, and they wanted to represent country by the civil code that they are Indian, and it supports base increase subsequently in 1990s. तो सबसे ज़्यादा उनका जो सपोर्ट बेस बन गया था, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी उस टाइम पे बिल्कुल नहीं चल रही थी. उनका जितने भी वो उन्होंने इनिशिएटिव्स बताए थे, प्रॉमिसेस बताए थे, तो दे वर नॉट लाइक दैट इम्प्रेसिव at that time. And then when जब जनता भारतीय जनता पार्टी आए, so eventually they wanted to take a chance on that, and they have quite increased their substantially in 1990s. So earlier they were limited to north and west and to the urban areas only. The party expanded its support in the southeast and in northeast and to these rural areas when they came to power in 1998. So basically when they become the ruling party by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 1998 as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance, including as viral state and regional party. So उनके पास ही बाद में जब पावर आई तो उन्होंने अपना रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिखाया, but it was not that much big. So 2004 में they have lost with the opposition party in the Lok Sabha after that. So they have lost elections in 2004, and it's a principle of they become the opposition party in the Lok Sabha after that. और उसके 10 साल बाद they have come back again now, and they are ruling like since 2014 till 2014 से लेकर अभी तक they are ruling in India. Now we are going to talk about the other parties also, which are important and which are established. So first we are going to talk is Bahujan Samaj Party, so which is also famous as BSP. It is formed in 1984 under the leadership of Kanshi Ram, and it seeks to represent and secure power for the Bahujan Samaj, which includes the Dalits, advisees, OBCs and religious minorities. They draws inspiration from the ideas and teaching of Sahu Maharaj, Mahatma Phule and Periyar Ramaswamy, Niketar, and Baba Sahib Ambedkar, they stand for the cause of securing and interest and welfare of the Dalits here and oppressed people. So I have just said that every party is following a different ideology. Congress is following different, BJP is following different, and their ideology is different. They stand for the cause of securing interest and welfare of the Dalits here and all the oppressed people. So it has its main base in the state of Uttar Pradesh and subsequent presence in neighboring states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Delhi and Punjab. Just because they are more members in the Dalits and oppressed people in these particular regions, so they formed their government in Uttar Pradesh several times by taking the support of different parties at different times. So they have joined together the hands with the other parties also, and they are ruling there in Uttar Pradesh several times by taking the support of these different parties at different times. In the Lok Sabha election held in 2004, it polled about 5% votes and secured 19 seats in the Lok Sabha there. So majorly they were having kind of the large kind of support there, जबकि उनको कितनी 6 सीट्स चाहिए होती है, they got 19 seats in the Lok Sabha, mostly 5% of the votes that they were having in the poll itself in 2004 election. Now there is one more important party that has been established, that is the Communist Party of India, Marmix, which we say at CPI. It was basically founded in 1964 and it was believed in maximum leniency. So basically they support socialism, secularism and democracy and opposes imperialism and communism. So they were thinking about certainly new kind of India. They were basically supporting all the social differences ना हो, socialism हो, secularism हो, democratic environment रहे, imperialism. So basically they were following these kind of things. They accepted democratic elections as a useful and helpful means for securing and their main objective was social economic justice in India. They enjoy strong support in West Bengal, Kerala and Tripura, especially among the poor factory workers, farmers and agricultural laborers and the intelligentsia. So these were the things, and critical of the new economic policies that allow free flow of foreign capital and goods into the country, has been in power in West Bengal without a break for 30 years, and in 2004 elections it won about 6% of votes with 43 seats in the Lok Sabha. Currently support the UPA government from outside without joining the government in any hand. So you have heard about Mamata Banerjee. So Mamata Banerjee is a part of this Communist Party in India, and from the past 30 years without any break they are having the power in the West Bengal without any break. So they are the ruling party and they are having the major seats in the Lok Sabha elections. Now there is one more to basically there is more to these things. So basically it secures about 1.5% votes and 10 seats in the Lok Sabha, advocating the coming together of all left out parties with a strong left front. Currently support UPI from the amendment. Okay, now the next party is National Congress Party. Sorry, Nationalist Congress Party. The National Congress Party is a little different one from this National Congress. So they are popularly known as NCP. They are formed in 1999. They are calling a split in the Congress Party. So basically जब Indian National Congress Party बनी थी तो उसमें कुछ members थे उनके, they were not agreeing with their kind of policy. So they formed their own party, which is Nationalist Congress Party, and they formed in 1999. Which was a split in the Congress Party. They sponsored democracy, Gandhian secularism, equity, social justice and federalism. They wanted that high offices in government is confined to natural born citizens of the country, and a major part in Maharashtra has a significant presence in Meghalaya, Manipur and Assam. Politician partner in the state of Maharashtra in alliance with the Congress since 2004, a member of the United Progress Alliance. So basically they are a member of UPA only. Now we are going to talk about the state parties. So now we have discussed about the national parties. Now we are going to talk about the state party. So other than these 6 parties, most of the major parties of the country are classified by the Election Commission as state parties, and they are commonly referred to as regional parties. Yet these parties need not be regional in their ideology or outlook. Some of these parties are all Indian parties that happen to have succeeded only in some states, and parties like the Swarajji Party, Samata Party, Rashtriya Janata Dal have national level political organization with units in several states as well. And some of these parties like Biju Janata Dal, Sikkim Democratic Front and Bizoro National Front are constant from their national identity there. So here, like more than 3 of the decades, they are being following some of the Indian parties that has established. On page number 82, you can see that in different states which kind of parties have been established and which are currently ruling also. So you can see that all these parties there. So over the last 3 decades, the number and strength of these parties has expanded. Now, like Aam Janata Party has came up. This made the Parliament of India politically more and more diverse, and no one have the national parties able to secure on its own as a majority in Lok Sabha now because of this number of increasing party, and as a result the national parties are compelled to form alliances with the state parties now. Like since 1996, nearly every one of the state parties has got an opportunity to be a part of one or the other national level politician government, and this has contributed to the strengthening of federalism and democracy in our country. See the map on the on the next page for the details of the party. तो जो मैप आपको 82 पेज नंबर पे दे रखा है, प्लीज सी दैट वहाँ पे आपको सारी पार्टीज के नाम पता चल जाएंगे, व्हेन दे आर एस्टैब्लिश्ड एंड इन विच स्टेट दे आर एस्टैब्लिश्ड. Please go through that very carefully. Now we are going to talk about the challenges of these political parties. So now these we know about what are these basic parties, what are their role. But obvious reasons are there will be some of these other challenges that these political parties have to face. So what are these basic challenges? So we have seen how critical these political parties or crucial political parties are for the working of democracy here. Since parties are the most visible face of democracy, it is natural that people blame parties for whatever is wrong with the working of democracy. And all over the world, people express a strong dissatisfaction with the failure of political parties to perform their functions well. And this is the case in our country too. Popular dissatisfaction and criticism has focus on 4 problem areas in the working of these political parties, and these political parties need to face and overcome these challenges in order to remain effective and like instruments of the democracy here. So what are the basic challenges? The first one is, the first challenge is lack of internal democracy within parties. So सबसे पहले जो challenge they actually face is that there is lack of internal democracy within the party, which means that there is a tendency in these political parties towards the concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top, and the parties do not keep membership register there. They do not hold organizational meetings and do not conduct internal elections regularly. Or ordinary members of the party do not get sufficient information on what happens inside the party. तो यहाँ पे मतलब ये होता है कि फेवरेटिज्म ज़्यादा होता है, इंटरनल डेमोक्रेसी है ही नहीं, और मतलब जो फेवरेट होता है वो जो पहले से चल रहा होता है उसी को उन्हीं को ही सीट्स दे देते हैं, उन्हीं को ही बोल देते हैं कि आप यहाँ से इलेक्शन लड़ो, दूसरों को चांस ही नहीं मिलता जो कि पार्ट लेना चाहते हैं या जिनको वो चाहते हैं कि वो मे बी शायद से उनसे अच्छा कर सके, बट इंटरनली कोई वोटर सिस्टम होता नहीं है, मेंबरशिप का रजिस्ट्रेशन होता नहीं है कि मतलब उनको भी चांस मिल सके, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मीटिंग्स नहीं होती है, दे डू नॉट conduct these internal elections regularly, and ordinarily these members of this party do not get sufficient information also about what happens inside the party. So that's the first failure. Like they do not have the means for the connections needed to influence the decisions also. मतलब मेजरली जो पार्टी में ऑलरेडी इन्वॉल्व है उन्हीं के डिसीजंस मेन माने जाते हैं, दूसरों से सलाह ली ही नहीं जाती, वहाँ पे उनके डिसीजंस माने नहीं जाते. एज अ रिजल्ट द लीडर्स एज्यूम ग्रेटर पावर टू मेक डिसीजंस इन द नेम ऑफ द पार्टी. तो बाकी जितने भी फॉलोअर्स होते हैं या फिर एक्टिव मेंबर्स होते हैं उनमें से कुछ तो उनके फेवरेट होते हैं जिनकी वो सुन भी लेते हैं, लेकिन मेजरली जो लीडर्स ही होते हैं दैट दे अज्यूम द ग्रेटर पावर टू मेक डिसीजंस इन द नेम ऑफ द पार्टी. Since one or few leaders exercise paramount power in the party, those who like disagree with the leadership find it difficult to continue in the party, and more than loyalty to party principles and policies, personal loyalty to the leader becomes more important. मतलब पार्टी से उनकी जितनी भी लॉयल्टी होनी चाहिए उसके लिए वो मैटर नहीं करता, जितने भी लीडर टॉप है उनके से लोग चापलूसी करते हैं उनके लिए वो ज़्यादा मायने रखता है यहाँ पे. So there is no internal democracy in these political parties. Now the second important challenge is of the dynastic succession is related to the first one. So dynastic succession का मतलब क्या होता है basically? Since most of these political parties do not practice open and transparent procedure for their functioning, there are very few ways for an ordinary worker to rise in the top in the party. तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे डायनेस्टिक सक्सेशन का मतलब ये होता है कि जिसको ऑलरेडी सक्सेस मिल रही है दे आर गिविंग द चांसेस टू देम ओनली, एंड जो नॉर्मली वर्किंग एक प्रोसीजर होना चाहिए कि दूसरों को भी ऊपर लाना चाहिए, दे आर नॉट डूइंग दैट. सो बेसिकली इनकी जो फंक्शनिंग ऐसी होती है जो कि चल रहा है तो वो चलता रहे, एंड दे आर ओनली दिस काइंड ऑफ वे दे आर प्रोड्यूसिंग दिस थिंग. So those who happen to be the leaders are in the position of unfair advantage to favor people who are close to them or even their family members. So basically what they do, they don't keep these kind of people जो lead कर रहे हैं who are the basic leaders, they are the position जो कि इस चीज़ का बहुत गंदा unfair advantage उठाते हैं, जहाँ पे वो फेवर करते हैं अपने ही लोगों को जो उनकी चापलूसियाँ करते हैं या तो अपने फैमिली मेम्बर्स को ले आते हैं. So in this way, in many parties, the top positions are always controlled by the members of one of the families, and this is very unfair to other members of that party. This is also bad for democracy as well, and since people who do not have educate, experience or popular support to come to occupy a position of power, this tendency is present in some measure all over the world, and including in some of the older democracies as well. Now the third challenge they have to face is about the growing role of money and muscle power in parties. Now पहले जो parties होती थी they doesn't require much of money related things or muscle power in parties, but now it is, especially during the elections. मारा पीटी बहुत होती है, पैसों का पावर बहुत चलता है, लोग पैसों से खरीदते हैं वोट. So since these parties are focused only on winning elections now, they tend to use shortcuts to win these elections. They tend to nominate those candidates who have to raise a lot of money. So वो nominate ऐसे candidates को करते हैं जिससे वो बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा ले सकें. And rich people and companies who give funds to these parties tend to have influence on these politics and decisions of the party. Now इन पार्टीज को सपोर्ट करने के लिए, पार्टीज में इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए बहुत सारे ये रिच बिजनेसमैन इन्वॉल्व होते हैं या कंपनीज इन्वॉल्व होती हैं, वो इनको फंड देते हैं और बाद में उन्हीं के जो भी जो रूल्स वगैरह होते हैं, डिसीजंस होते हैं इन पार्टीज में चल भी जाते हैं. Now in some cases party support criminals who can win elections. In some cases criminals को भी वो चांस दे देते हैं. And Democrats all over the world are worried about the increasing role of rich people and big companies in democratic policies. Now it has been seen also कि मतलब जो ये politics है ये एक ऐसी position पे जा चुके हैं जहाँ पे there is an increasing role of rich people more than the जो deserving people है, and big companies are the ones who are there in this democratic politics. Now the fourth challenge they have to face is very often like these parties do not seem to offer a meaningful choice to the voters. In order to offer meaningful choice, like parties must be significantly different. Like in recent years there have been a decline in the ideological differences among parties in most parts of the world. Like उनकी ideology वो एक ही टॉपिक उठा रहे हैं हर एक और उसी को ही फॉलो कर रहे हैं. जो चॉइसेस वोटर्स की होनी चाहिए वो उनके हिसाब से है ही नहीं. वो आइडियोलॉजी डिफरेंस हो कुछ हो, उनको बस ये है कि उनको वोट खरीदने से मतलब है. और चॉइसेस कैसे भी हो, इन रिसेंट ईयर्स इट हैज ऑलवेज डिक्लाइन. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वी टेक दैट द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द लेबर पार्टी एंड द कंजर्वेटिव पार्टी इन ब्रिटेन इज वेरी लिटिल. दे एग्री ऑन मोर फंडामेंटल एस्पेक्ट्स बट different only in details on how politics are to be framed and implemented in our country too. And the differences among all these major parties on the economic policies have reduced. Those who wanted really badly these different policies have no option available to them, and sometimes people cannot even elect very different leaders either because of the same set of leaders keep shifting from one party to the another one. Now we are going to talk about the another topic and the last topic from this chapter, which is how can these parties be reformed. Like in order to face these challenges, political parties need to be reformed. And the question is, are these political parties willing to reform? Like they are willing to face these challenges and they are willing to change themselves. If they are willing, what has prevented them from reforming so far? So if they are not willing, it is possible to force them to reform. Like citizens all over the world face this question only, that this is not a simple question to answer. In a democracy, the final decision is always made by the leaders who represent these political parties. But people can replace them. People have the power to replace them. Like we have done, we have shifted from Congress to BJP now. So we have the power to replace them also. अगर ये भी नहीं करेगी तो हमारे पास पावर है कि हम इनको भी रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं, बट ओनली बाय अनदर सेट ऑफ पार्टी लीडर्स. इफ ऑल ऑफ देम डू नॉट विश टू रिफॉर्म, हाउ कैन एनीवन फोर्स देम टू चेंज? तो हम कैसे चेंज कर सकते हैं? सो दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज अमेंडेड टू प्रिवेंट इलेक्टेड MLAs and MPs from changing these parties. This was done because many elected representatives were indulging in defection in order to become ministers or for cash rewards. And now the law says that if any MLA or MP changes parties, he or she will lose a seat in the legislature. अब जैसे होता है कि कुछ ऐसे जो मिनिस्टर्स होते हैं वो कांग्रेस टू बीजेपी में जाते हैं या बीजेपी टू कांग्रेस में आते हैं, तो ऐसे मिनिस्टर्स जो कि चेंज करते ही रहते हैं पार्टीज अपनी, तो उनको बोल दिया गया है कि अगर आप ऐसे करते हो यू विल लूज द सीट इन द लेजिस्लेटिव डिपार्टमेंट. And this new law has helped bringing the defecation down, and at the same time this has made any decent even more difficult for the MPs and MLAs. They have to accept whatever party leaders have to decide there. Now the Supreme Court also passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals here. Now it is mandatory for every candidate who contests election to file a affidavit giving details of his property and criminal cases pending against him. And the new system has made a lot of information available to the public, but there is no system of check if the information given by the candidate is true. As yet we do not know if it has led to decline in the influence of the rich and the these criminals or not. Now these election commissions have passed an order also in making it necessary for these political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax return, and the parties have started doing so, but sometimes it is mere formality only. It is not clear if these steps have led to greater internal democracy in political parties. Besides these, many suggestions are also being made to reform these political parties. So we'll know about what were the suggestions. Firstly, a law should be made to regulate the internal affairs of political parties here. It should be made compulsory for the political parties to maintain a register of its members to follow its own constitution. to have an independent authority, to act as a judge in case of party disputes, and to hold open elections to the highest posts. It should be made mandatory for the political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about 1/3, to women candidates now. And similarly, these should be a quota for women in the decision-making bodies of the party. Then there should be a state funding of elections. The government should give parties money to support their election expenses, and this support could be given in kind of petrol, paper, telephone, etc. So, or it could be given in cash on the basis of the vote secured by the party in the last election. These suggestions have not yet been accepted by political parties. And when these are accepted, these could lead to some improvement. But we must be very careful about these legal solutions to these political problems. Over-regulation of political parties should be counterproductive, and this could force all parties to find ways to cheat the laws. Besides, political parties will not agree to pass a law that they do not like. Now, there are two other ways also in which political parties can be reformed. One, people can put pressure on political parties. This can be done through petitions, publicity, and agitations. Ordinary citizens, pressure groups, and movements, and the media can play an important role in this. Like, if political parties feel that they would lose public support by not taking up reforms, they would become more serious about reforms. So, two political parties can improve if those who want to join these political parties. So that's it, the chapter. We are done with this chapter. And if you have queries related to today's lecture, please let me know in the online class. Okay. Now we are going to talk about the homework solution. So I have asked you about the multi-party system and how they work. So the answer is, if several parties compete to power and more than two parties have a reasonable chance of coming to power either on their own strength or in alliance with others, we call it a multi-party system. India has evolved a multi-party system. It is because the social and geographical diversity in such a large country is not easily absorbed by two or even three parties here. So that's why we have a multi-party system. So party system is not something any country can choose. It involves over a long time depending on the nature of society and its social and regional division. Its history of politics and its system of elections is different. Now the homework for today is, you have to write about what are the various challenges faced by these political parties, and please write it in your own language. Please read it and then write it about the various challenges that they have to face by these political parties. So that's it for today's lecture. Let me know about your queries and anything you are not able to understand in the online class. We'll talk there about your queries. Okay. That's it for today's lecture. Thank you so much, class. Thank you for listening, and just take care of yourself.